There is one family whose mere appearance in public is enough to shake global markets and media. They are not just wealthy, they possess a form of power that goes far beyond money. This is the British royal family, a symbol of luxury, tradition, and influence that has endured for centuries. Their lives exist in a world almost completely separate from the rest of humanity. Although their net worth is estimated at only tens of billions of dollars, the level of influence the royal family generates is far greater. From fashion and tourism to national branding, their very existence continuously creates enormous economic value. Stay until the end to discover how one family can transform power, history, and image into nearly limitless wealth. If this surprises you, leave a comment with the number 1 below. Even though it is an enormous figure, the wealth of the British royal family still pales in comparison to the trillion-dollar myth surrounding them. But when you own dozens of palaces, hold 550 original drawings by Leonardo da Vinci, and possess diamonds worth hundreds of millions of dollars, the line between billionaire and trillionaire almost loses its meaning. This is not just financial wealth, it is institutional and historical power. Imagine this scene. A toddler named Prince George appears at a public event. He was wearing a 9-pound Sunua t-shirt during his 3rd birthday photo shoot. Within just 1 hour, exactly 60 minutes, the shirt sold out completely. Not in days, not in weeks, in 1 hour. And this was not an isolated case. It became a recurring phenomenon with such frequency and economic impact that researchers gave it a name, the Prince George effect. Finance, Prince George is estimated to contribute around £2.4 billion to the UK economy over his lifetime, even though he is still just a child. Even more astonishing, his sister Princess Charlotte is predicted to generate an even greater impact, up to £3.2 billion, due to the much larger women's fashion market. This means that simply by appearing and being photographed in ordinary clothing, these royal children are already creating billions of pounds in economic value for the UK. When Princess Charlotte was photographed wearing a yellow John Lewis cardigan, the item sold out completely within 24 hours. A simple cardigan from an affordable department store vanished from shelves. That is the power we're talking about. A family whose mere presence, whose fashion choices and everyday appearances creates economic waves across entire industries. Their mother, Kate Middleton, is believed to have generated over £1 billion in impact for the British fashion industry. This phenomenon is known as the Kate effect. When your child's clothing can move markets, when your outfit choices can determine the survival of fashion brands, when your very existence creates billions in economic value. Perhaps being a trillionaire isn't about what you own, but about the level of influence you command. Now, let's dive into the real numbers, because they are genuinely fascinating. They reveal the layered and complex nature of royal wealth that most people have never truly understood. King Charles III's personal fortune is estimated at around $860 million, according to the Sunday Times Rich List. Other estimates place it above $2 billion when broader inheritances are included. This massive discrepancy exists for one clear reason: royal finances are deliberately kept opaque. Private trusts, inheritance tax exemptions, and institutional assets are deeply intertwined. This makes precise valuation nearly impossible. Things became especially interesting in 2022 when Queen Elizabeth II passed away. She left King Charles an enormous fortune, including private properties such as Balmoral Castle and the Sandringham estate. Together, these two properties are estimated to be worth around $445 million. But here's the twist that would shock almost any financial advisor. King Charles inherited all of it without paying a single dollar in inheritance tax. The reason lies in a 1993 agreement that exempts asset transfers between monarchs from the standard 40% inheritance tax. This single legal loophole saved him an estimated $200 million. Pause for a moment and think about that number. A tax exemption worth more than most people could earn in 100 lifetimes. Then there is Prince William, whose wealth story is just as astonishing. His net worth exceeds £1 billion, largely due to his control of the Duchy of Cornwall, a 700-year-old estate that generates roughly £23 million in annual revenue. Combined with inheritances from Princess Diana and the Queen Mother, William was quite literally born into billionaire status. The Duchy of Cornwall itself deserves special attention because it illustrates something profound about royal wealth. This is not just old money. This is ancient money, structured to ensure perpetual accumulation. Founded in 1337, the duchy spans over 54,521 hectares, primarily in southwest England, generating income through rentals, agriculture, and sustainable development initiatives. Technically, the estate is exempt from corporate tax, although the heir voluntarily pays income tax on part of the profits. This is generational wealth engineered over centuries, not just to be preserved, but to grow exponentially across generations. Yet there is still one critical perspective often overlooked when discussing royal wealth. Despite the extraordinary privileges and the aura of luxury surrounding them, the British royal family actually ranks only 8th among the world's wealthiest royal families. This surprises many people because their global influence often creates the impression of almost limitless wealth. However, in purely monetary terms, the British royals are estimated to possess around $28 billion. This is an enormous sum for most families, yet relatively modest in the royal world. This ranking highlights the clear distinction between symbolic power and raw financial strength, offering a different perspective on the true nature of royal wealth. Topping the list is the House of Saud, of the British royals, including with an estimated net worth of $1.4 trillion, truly trillion with a T, a figure that dwarfs all competitors. This immense wealth comes primarily from oil, the resource that has shaped the kingdom's economic and political power for decades. It is reinforced by global investments spanning finance, real estate, and technology. The House of Saud is not only wealthy, but wields strategic economic influence on a global scale, representing a modern form of resource-driven, cash-based wealth. Following them is Kuwait's Al Sabah family, with an estimated fortune of around $360 billion. Next comes Qatar's Al Thani family, worth approximately $335 billion, much of it derived from natural gas and sovereign wealth funds. These families manage their assets like modern financial empires, focused on growth, diversification, and profit maximization. By comparison, the British royal family is clearly not a cash powerhouse. This gap underscores the contrast between resource-rich Middle Eastern monarchies and historically rooted European royalty. Although they do not rank among the top 5 in terms of financial assets, the British royal family possesses values that extend far beyond money. These include institutional legitimacy forged over centuries, a global brand no marketing campaign could ever replicate, and a historical narrative spanning 1,000 years intertwined with British national identity. It is this blend of tradition, symbolism, and soft power that creates their unique appeal, and perhaps, in the modern world, represents the rarest and most enduring form of wealth of all. The value of the monarchy itself is estimated at around 24% of £57 billion, rising to £87 billion when total economic contributions are included. Each year, the royal family generates approximately £1.8 billion for the UK economy. This is soft power converted into hard currency. Before we continue, there is one more crucial piece of the wealth puzzle that must be addressed, because it reveals how royal funding has shifted dramatically in recent years. The sovereign grant has tripled since 2012, when it provided less than £50 million per year to the royal family. In the 2025-2026 fiscal year, it surpassed £100 million and continues to rise. In April 2025 alone, the royals received an additional £45 million, bringing their total annual funding to £132 million, a 53% increase in just 1 year. So where does this money come from? The sovereign grant is funded by British taxpayers through profits generated by the Crown Estate. The Crown Estate is one of the largest property portfolios in the UK, valued at over £15.8 billion. It includes commercial real estate, agricultural land, and, most notably, offshore wind projects that have become extraordinarily profitable in recent years. During the 2024-2025 period, the Crown Estate generated £1.1 billion in net profit for the National Treasury. A portion of that was returned to the royal family. The math is simple. The more successful the Crown Estate becomes, the wealthier the monarchy grows, while still delivering substantial revenue to the UK government. This symbiotic relationship between the Crown and the Treasury dates back to 1760, when King George III surrendered estate revenues to the state in exchange for financial support. By modern calculations, it is a deal that benefits both sides enormously. However, critics continue to debate whether any single family should benefit so extensively from what is essentially national infrastructure. And trust me, the details behind the scenes are far stranger, more complex, and more carefully orchestrated than you could possibly imagine behind palace walls. Let's begin with the woman who sat at the very top of this entire machine for 70 years, Queen Elizabeth II. Her daily routine reveals a great deal about the true nature of royal life. Each morning, the Queen woke at 7:30 a.m., remaining in bed for a few minutes to listen to BBC Radio 4's Today program. A member of the staff would enter carrying a silver tray with her first cup of Earl Grey tea of the day, milk, no sugar, along with a freshly pressed linen napkin embossed with the royal insignia. And this is where the precision becomes astonishing. As the Queen sipped her tea, a maid prepared her morning bath, set to the perfect temperature, measured with a wooden case thermometer, and filled to exactly 7 inches. This dressing room featured floor-to-ceiling mirrors and vast wardrobes that would make any fashion lover envious. And that was just the morning preparation. On a typical day, the Queen could change outfits up to 5 times, each look carefully selected and prepared by a dedicated team. The rest of her day was just as tightly structured. Breakfast at 8:30 a.m., followed by reading roughly 300 letters from the public each day. Then came the red boxes, official state documents every monarch must review daily, rain or shine, except on Christmas Day and Easter Sunday. At 5 p.m. came afternoon tea, featuring crustless sandwiches cut into quarters, warm scones with cream and jam, and a slice of Dundee fruitcake. The Royal Collection holds approximately 550 drawings by Leonardo da Vinci, the most important collection of his works anywhere in the world. These are not reproductions, but original sheets once touched by Leonardo's own hands. They include sketches for The Last Supper, studies of human anatomy, and designs for flying machines. Collected since the reign of King Charles II, they have remained intact as a unified collection since Leonardo's death in 1519. The British royal family owns an art collection of over 1 million objects, including works by Michelangelo, Rembrandt, and Raphael, worth billions of dollars, masterpieces that royals can casually walk past on their way to breakfast. Among the crown jewels stands the Koh-i-Noor diamond, the Mountain of Light, weighing 105.6 carats and valued between $115 and $330 million. Historically priceless, it is worn only by female royals due to legends surrounding an ancient curse. Then there is the Cullinan diamond, the largest rough diamond ever discovered, weighing 3,106 carats. It was cut into 105 separate stones, with the entire Cullinan set valued at around $2 billion. The largest stone, the Great Star of Africa at 530 carats, is mounted on the sovereign's scepter. The second largest is set in the imperial state crown. The entire crown jewels collection is estimated to be worth between $4 and $8 billion and cannot be sold. These treasures are held in trust for the nation, stored in the Tower of London, and displayed only during coronations and major state events. This is wealth that exists beyond commerce, heritage that transcends the very concept of personal ownership. Now let's talk about real estate, because the royal property portfolio defies all conventional imagination. Buckingham Palace alone is valued at approximately $4.9 billion, with 775 rooms spanning over 77,000 square meters. It is the monarch's official London residence, though the word residence hardly does justice to a structure containing 19 staterooms, 52 royal and guest bedrooms, 188 staff bedrooms, 92 offices, and 78 bathrooms. Then there is Windsor Castle, the oldest continuously inhabited castle in the world, with over 1,000 years of history, where the royal family often spends weekends and Easter holidays. Balmoral Castle in Scotland, a private estate covering roughly 50,000 acres, serves as the royal family's summer retreat and is also where Queen Elizabeth II passed away. It is deeply tied to traditions such as deer stalking and countryside picnics that span generations. The Sandringham Estate in Norfolk, covering around 19,000 acres, hosts the royal family's Christmas celebrations, a tradition dating back to King Edward VII. Alongside these are Kensington Palace, valued at approximately $630 million, as well as Clarence House, St. James's Palace, Hampton Court, and Holyrood Palace in Edinburgh, each representing centuries of history and carrying multi-billion-dollar value. In education, Prince George and Princess Charlotte currently attend Lambrook School, with annual tuition ranging from £19,000 to £21,000, and are likely to continue on to Marlborough College in the future. This is part of an elite educational tradition designed to prepare royal children for lives defined by duty, responsibility, and constant public scrutiny. And Catherine of Prince William and Catherine cost approximately $34 million, including public-funded contributions. Yet the economic value generated by this global event far exceeded its cost. To truly understand royal wealth, one must examine the duchies, ancient financial structures that have sustained the monarchy for nearly 700 years. The Duchy of Cornwall, founded in 1337, spans over 54,000 hectares of farmland, property, and investments, generating around £22.9 million annually and holding a total value exceeding £1 billion. The Duchy of Lancaster, established in 1265, spans more than 18,000 hectares and delivers roughly £24.4 million annually to the monarch's private expenditure fund, with assets preserved and passed down through generations. Alongside this is the royal vehicle fleet, valued at approximately $17.6 million, with annual transportation and private travel costs reaching into the millions, illustrating the intersection of tradition, security, and luxury. A crisis erupted on October 30th, 2025, when King Charles III initiated the process of stripping Prince Andrew of his titles, forcing him to vacate Royal Lodge after more than 2 decades. This marked one of the rare instances in over a century in which a British prince was formally demoted, reflecting the severity of the scandals involved and an effort to end controversy without further reliance on public funds. The Royal Museum will leave Buckingham Palace after 200 years, and the $700 million renovation project, scheduled for completion in 2027, will not signal the monarch's return to permanent residence there. This represents a symbolic shift away from a London-centered monarchy. Staffing reductions are also targeting managerial layers deemed bloated and redundant within palace operations. King Charles has stated plainly that he does not run a housing association. Subsidized apartments for extended family members will be phased out, replaced by market-rate rentals to carefully vetted tenants. Royals outside the direct line of succession, including Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie, are expected to become financially independent. Spending controls now apply to both the sovereign grant, public funding, and private income from the Duchy of Lancaster, with the goal of reducing overall costs and emphasizing value for money. As the monarchy contracts, one family has emerged as the uncontested future of the dynasty: Prince William, Princess Catherine, and their 3 children, George, Charlotte, and Louis. William has increasingly taken on major global responsibilities, representing the monarchy at key events and on overseas tours on the king's behalf, while Catherine focuses on early childhood development initiatives and relocating the family to Windsor. Concentrating attention on the Wales line is intended to create stability, strengthen William's position as future king, and build positive public images for the children, especially as George and Charlotte are projected to generate billions in lifetime economic value. The sovereign grant remains a focal point of controversy after rising to £132 million in 2025, drawn from profits of the Crown estate valued at approximately £15.8 billion. Much of the increase is earmarked for the Buckingham Palace renovation, sparking criticism that taxpayers are subsidizing royal wealth, despite arguments that the monarchy continues to deliver substantial economic benefits. Supporters counter that the Crown estate contributes far more to the national treasury than the monarchy receives in return. Total annual costs of the monarchy, including security not fully disclosed, are estimated at around £510 million, while the Crown estate generates over £1 billion. On paper, the balance favors the monarchy, but public perception during periods of economic hardship tells a very different story. King Charles has emphasized value for money as a direct response to the growing scrutiny facing the monarchy. He has pushed through reforms and symbolic changes, from new passport designs bearing the mark of his reign to the decisive use of royal prerogative to protect institutional credibility, most clearly demonstrated by his actions regarding Prince Andrew. Meanwhile, the rupture with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle has cost the monarchy long-term economic benefits tied to branding and influence. Despite still contributing an estimated £1.8 billion annually to the UK economy, the monarchy now faces a fundamental question: whether it continues to possess enough relevance, identity, and legacy to justify its privileges in the 21st century. And that is the truth behind the British royal family's trillionaire lifestyle, where ancient privilege exists alongside modern scrutiny. The monarchy is evolving to adapt to the future, but whether that will be enough remains an open question. If any detail surprised you the most, share your thoughts. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.